All right, what's going on? We are Defenders of Comics, and this is the 17th St. Patrick's Day. And we are going to talk Happy Thanks, or I almost said Happy Thanksgiving.
Top of the morning to you, lad.
So what did you eat for dinner?
We had corned beef and cabbage.
We did too.
Did you really?
Yep, and
Yeah,
I had to put some sauerkraut with mine. Just for something
Oh,
different.
yeah.
I like
My
sauerkraut with
in-laws
that.
make it every. Oh, yeah, it's good. My in-laws have that every year, so we always go over there.
That's good.
Nice.
And then we are going to talk tonight about Superman and Lois, episode 4. And then I would like to get into a little bit of the Snyder Cut because I don't know, the more and more I'm hearing, the more and more I'm so looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah, it's only been getting more and more rave reviews, and some people that I actually know aren't Snyder cultists, for lack of a better word. You know, they're like, woo, yeah, this was exceptional. I've even heard people say that are pretty even keeled. No. This is from Variety that it outperforms Infinity War and Endgame.
No way.
Yeah, they quoted it. It's like, Justice League accomplishes in 4 hours what it took Avengers 9 hours to do. So,
oh dang.
Well, they said.
We will get stuck on this if we don't go ahead and move on for now.
Yep,
For
let's
Superman and Lois.
Let's go on to Soups.
Let's go real quick before we start really diving into it, just in case if anybody's here. What did you think about it right away?
The episode was it was good. It was like, I think last week it's probably fourth again out of the episodes. I thought Lois shined in this episode. We can get into that later, but there was a scene with her. I'm like, yeah, you go.
Yeah.
So it's still great.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, it's still a winning formula. It's still good. It's you know, they might want to pick up the pace slightly. I'm a little less interested in the Smallville City Hall Council stuff.
And how many have we already had of that?
Yeah, I feel like, okay, let's kind of move on here. Let's get Morgan Edge's plan going, which they did.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, sorry. I had to do something real quick. So before we get then to any spoilers, I agree with you. I think Lois shined. I do think this is the fourth, but I'm not saying that it was bad, if that makes any sense. I think it was a good episode still.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, if you have to rank him, it is fourth, but it's still a good episode. I still rank it as a win.
So now I say we just jump into it. And
yeah, let's go.
I want to start off with a little bit of comedy at the beginning. And if you remember that it's pouring down rain and what's his name decides to go to the big high school football game. Like a guy worth $1 billion is really going to go to a local Smallville high school game.
I know. Again, it still feels like, okay, let's think about this. Donald Trump, pre-president, shows up at Palmyra.
No, it ain't going to happen. There's no way.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
And he's not going to stand out in the rain. I mean, so if it's pouring down rain, he's going to figure out somewhere else to go.
He's in some massive air-conditioned heated bus. Yeah. One of the two.
The press box.
Yeah.
So the first picture I have up is the coach basically telling Jordan, short stack, is that what he calls him?
Yeah.
Nope, I want you, short stack. Get in for defense.
And yeah.
They did this on purpose, like 100%, where the coach is standing there saying, I need you to get me the ball. Do you remember what film this is referencing right here?
Oh, I might.
It is 100% referencing The Replacements.
Oh, of course.
Where he is telling Danny Bateman, I need the ball. And remember, they're like, I'll get you the ball.
Right. Yep.
Now, I think what's cool is, you know who played Danny Bateman?
No, I don't. I don't remember.
Jon Favreau.
Oh, Favreau was that? Okay.
How cool. Yeah. I think that's I know it's Marvel and DC, but I do think that's pretty cool. And that's what I right away when I was seeing this part, I was like, holy crap, is this a replacement?
That's what they were referencing there, I'm sure.
So Jordan comes and saves the day.
Yeah.
Makes the sack, fumble, some guy picks it up, scores a touchdown.
Hey, he made it look easy too. Like this, you cannot stop Jordan.
Okay.
So
now as a question, and you're a football guy, if you have a dude on your bench that does that, and you know he's going to do that, why is he on your bench? Why has he not played this whole game until the fourth quarter?
Yeah. Zeros. No, he wouldn't be on the bench.
I thought that was comical itself too.
Yeah. Well, he's not going to be on the bench anymore. That's for sure.
But did you?
It's the story purpose. So.
Did you start getting the feeling of what was going to happen, especially with, and I always say his name wrong, so you're going to have to help me, Lois's dad that showed up?
Yeah, Sam.
I turned to my wife right away, and I said, he's going to know something's up. Because he knows Jordan, and now all of a sudden Jordan is this freak of an athlete.
Yeah, and I'm glad he did. I mean, it made it realistic. It's like, he's going to know. Yeah, I'm glad he didn't just go, oh, wow, Jordan's really doing well.
I thought Jonathan was the one that was the athlete.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, he's definitely going to know something's up, and chaos will ensue.
Yeah, did you like how he went after Lois about it?
Well, we'll get into this later, but like right then and at the beginning, it's like, I do see where he's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a little hard ass. You know, he's a military guy. He's career military, so he's going to be a hard ass. I mean, that's just how it is. So, I mean, but he seems like he genuinely cares about the whole family and seems to like Clark. I mean, he's Superman, for pity's sake.
Well, I think he 100% has a point. I mean, to me...
That's my point as well. Yeah, I think it's like, oh, man, you know, it's like, I see where Lois and them come from. They're trying to have him be a better father and be more present. But it's like, well, if you're going to continue to be Superman, you do have a responsibility. You know, you're the most important figure in the world. So,
well, but I think he has a point to Jordan. If he has abilities, the one thing you should never do is put him out there to where people are going to start questioning, or he's going to get so much attention.
Yeah.
And you're not just talking local from the Gazette. You're talking it's going to be a statewide thing first, and that if he is this good, and I think that's dangerous in my opinion in this situation.
Yeah, Sam sees it how it's going to go. Yeah, he's going to get more and more attention, or he won't control his powers, or, you know, he has another laser eye blast thing. And then boom, it's not that he gets found out that he's got powers. It's he's getting taken away and put in custody and getting studied and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, he doesn't want that to happen to his grandson. So, yeah, he's got a point. I
agree. So, I guess the next thing we go to is where Lois starts to shine. And they're at the Smallville Gazette, and she has wrote her big piece on, help me, what's the dude's name?
Morgan Edge.
Morgan
Edge. Yep.
Unfinished Business Podcast. Could that be the reason why we hadn't played the entire game, though? Not to draw attention. Yeah, but the coach doesn't know it. The coach doesn't know that he has powers.
Well, I mean, first of all, we got to realize this is TV. They're not going to get into the minutia of everything. They got to advance the plot, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But, I mean, if you want to think about it, he could be like, hey, I know but he's a freshman. I know he can do all this, but right now I'm going to give my upperclassman a shot. Wasn't working out. Let's give Short Stack a try. Put him in there. Well, he overperformed, so he's not going to be benched anymore.
He better not be. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, he'll be starting. He'll be starting.
And by the way, Unfinished Business, isn't he the sports guy? He should be able to answer this kind of stuff for us.
Yeah, that's right.
That Tom Brady TikTok, that was pretty good. Ready for another one.
I know. Keep them coming.
All right, so we're at the Smallville Gazette. Lois actually is done writing the piece. And if I remember right, it was actually on the newspaper, correct? It was printed.
Yeah, I mean, it was ready to go out to print.
Oh, I thought it had
So,
already printed.
well, maybe it had, but we know what ended up happening.
Well, and we're at that point, and I don't know how does Morgan Edge have this much power, basically saying to sue is where he's going. And of course, they don't have the money to be or the resources to fight
Yeah,
that, so they
yeah,
just retract it real quick.
yeah. I mean, that's where it is realistic. It's like, well, you got that kind of money, you can make some things happen.
Yep. Now, one thing about Lois, and I don't know which direction you want to go in here because we can go three different ways. We can talk about Lois, we can talk about the kid with the cast, or we can talk about the new dude that is in prison on a transit. It sort of goes like this way.
The the new dude. Oh,
Well,
okay,
I
the
don't want to
new
say his
dude.
name unless you don't
Oh yeah, the
new
new dude.
NEW.
I thought you said nude. I'm like, I
No,
don't think he was nude.
I'm not going there.
Um, let's go ahead and talk about the bad guy here.
The new one.
Yeah, Thaddeus Kilgrave. So
Okay.
bit of a minor villain in the Superman mythos. I want to say came out in the late '80s.
And I have him
So
here, and if you I don't know if you're seeing what I'm looking at, but
I can't see it. I don't have the
okay,
pics that didn't come in, but
I pulled some photos up of the comics, and he's actually purple.
no.
Is that the wrong
Well,
dude?
it is, yes. Coach, yeah, that is Kilgrave from Marvel.
Oh no,
That's the purple man.
I gotta get rid of this.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on Thaddeus Kilgrave then.
Okay,
Reverse.
yeah, he looks like a kind of a savannah looking guy. He's got big eyes and a big head and
Okay.
uh anyway, he's not made a lot of appearances for a while. I don't know the last time I've seen him, but I just remember him as a kid from the '80s, right after Crisis and they relaunched Superman, Man of Steel. That was the greatest time to be a Superman fan because they had so many new characters that they kept adding and adding to Superman's world. It's so great. And he was one of those villains that was around a lot with Cadmus, which I hope they introduce. They have Cadmus in the Titans TV show. That's where Superboy came from.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah, he's a Lex Luthor type, a little more crazy, a little more. He doesn't have the money, but he's
Mm.
smart and crazy.
So basically, he is being transported,
Yeah,
and they end up finding that there's a threat now because he has some sort of gum that he threw up onto the door and it exploded. But one thing that drove me nuts is when he's explaining this to the policemen that are sitting in front of him,
I
they're
know they're like, oh,
there's zero reaction to what he's saying.
it's like this guy is a genius, evil scientist. So you probably are gonna be like, holy crap, he's doing something to train him. They're
Yeah.
just like, I don't think we need to do anything right now.
So,
But I don't know. Were we going to talk about why he's being moved?
yes.
Because he's being moved because everyone's noticing. That's one thing Sam was telling him. Like, hey, people are noticing. You're not flying over the city much anymore. It's becoming apparent you're not around.
Yeah.
So crime is up. Intergang, which is a big deal in Superman's world, is up. The intergang crime. So yeah, it's like, hey, we've got to get him out of this security and into more maximum security because Superman is not here to make sure he stays put.
Stays there. And then of course he gets away or starts blowing up the door, and I am drawing a blank on Lois's dad's name. He pushes his little
Sam
button. He pushes
Sam
his
Lang, yeah.
button, and Superman does not come.
No, he doesn't.
There's a situation right now with a different dude that is sort of different, and you can go into this. There's a bathroom stall, and he starts shaking his hand, is shaking profusely, and
Yeah.
the cast explodes.
Yeah, so this is a buddy of Jonathan's. Seems like his best buddy right now on the team. They seem to have hit it off, and he's having some major. He broke his arm at the party with Jordan, and now we're finding out something happened at that party because his arm is vibrating like, he's got vibrating powers. So something's going on. We're like, oh, he's developing some powers, and he doesn't know what to do. Looks like it's going to be dangerous or hurt him.
So Clark Kent finds out that everything's okay with this situation because he thought something was wrong because he noticed Jonathan was gone and he heard what he heard. And so that's why he wasn't reacting to the button right away. And then he decides to go ahead and go towards Thaddeus.
Right.
Now, I don't understand a lot of things on this one. So I guess what I'm trying to ask is what kind of, you said he was like a Lex Luthor type, but is he a scientist also?
Yeah, they're all scientists.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's very much the mad scientist type. That's his shtick. I think he was into robotics, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Not Toy Man level robots, but just underground. I think he did a lot of stuff underground too. That's from me just kind of recollecting some of the older books. Again, I don't think we've seen him for a long time.
Well, and then I don't still remember how this bounced around, but Lois's dad comes back and basically gives Jonathan and Jordan the 5th degree about what your dad is. And this was right because Thaddeus got away at first.
Yeah. And he's gone. He tricked, he did his little audio thing that tricked Superman and he escaped.
So what I don't get, I understand where he is coming from on them, but when he says that you all need to leave your dad alone, I think that was heartstrings for every parent right there, that you just can't do that.
No, yeah, I mean that's an example of, Grandpa's overstepping big time here. And that's where it's like, okay, I get your point about certain aspects of what Clark needs to be doing, but you don't tell his sons to back off and don't bother your dad, because that's between them and dad.
Right.
So, yeah.
And I think
bad advice.
I think where this episode really goes for me is I find out in this episode what is Superman's true weakness. And his true weakness isn't kryptonite, in my opinion. His true weakness is he's trying to do everything everywhere and please everybody at the same time. And he's just, even for Superman, there's only so much for him to go around.
Yeah, I mean, it's really showing how difficult it is. I mean, we've never really had any media other than relatively recent with Jonathan Kent in the comics of Superman having anyone else in his life that is a family member outside of his elderly mom. Because in the comic book, sometimes his parents are dead, sometimes they're both alive, sometimes just his mom is alive. It's whatever.
Right.
But it's always just been Superman and Lois. Historically, it's him. And if she actually does know who he is at this point in time, it's just the two of them. And it's hard enough for them to make it. So now you add children.
Teenage children.
I mean, we have kids.
Yeah.
Teenage children. We have kids. It's like, even teenagers, they still need you like every day.
Yeah.
And so, you go back to, there's the line I always go back to, and I can't quote it, but in the Superman movie, the original, was Christopher Reeve. He meets Jor-El for the first time at the Fortress of Solitude that's just been formed. And I can't quote what Jor-El is telling him, but he does tell him, don't do everything for humanity. You can't, because at some point they'll be asking you to do even the most mundane tasks.
Yeah.
If you try to save everyone all the time, everywhere, you won't accomplish anything. I'm paraphrasing, but that was the message he was giving Clark, because he's like, you have the power of a god, and if people rely on you too heavily,
then they won't do it themselves.
They won't do it
And
themselves.
that's what's going on in Metropolis, if we can all be honest, because
Yeah.
he's there
Right.
and he does everything. So the cops or whoever's in charge, they don't have to do much. And
Right.
now they're all getting lax that, hey, we got to actually do something now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what's so great about him actually having a secret identity as Clark Kent's like, I'm going to have my own life too,
Yeah.
because I have to. You know, I can't be here I'm not omnipresent. I can't be everywhere all the time. So people will have to get by without me. And I may not hear of every tragedy in the world. That's just how it has to be. But you're right. I'm sure Metropolis did get pretty lax. When you have Superman in your
Yeah.
hometown or city, they were getting lax.
I mean, it's not just police, it's fire.
Oh, yeah.
It's everything.
Right. You know, if there's a huge fire in Metropolis, Superman's going to take care of it. They probably don't do much.
So the one thing that happens, if you remember when Lois was going to go fight for her paper and her story,
Yeah. Yeah.
she says she's going to bring Clark, basically the hometown boy, to talk to
Right.
these people to make them understand. And this is, you could tell this bothered him more than anything, that he was not
Oh,
able
yeah.
to make it. She's calling. She knows deep down that like she said, I know you're Superman. I
Right.
know you're not going to be there for birthdays and some anniversaries, but when I needed you for this, and you were not there.
Right. I thought that was really great. And to me, this is what elevates this show above the others is the writing.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the effects are all great and the acting is really good too, but the writing is smart and it's real because they wrote Lois so you don't get annoyed with her. She's not over there nagging. I can't believe you wouldn't do this for me. How could you stand me up and blah blah blah. And it's like, Lois, he's freaking Superman.
Yep.
But what made it human? She says that. It's like, I know you're Superman. I know I shouldn't be mad, but I still am. And it's like I was counting on you, but I know that other responsibility was even greater.
Yep.
But I still can't help how I feel slighted. And
That,
you know, it's like that's real.
and this one hurts.
Yeah.
And she even said, she brought even up the romance part. That hurts. And blah blah blah.
Yeah, I don't know when they'd ever have time for that.
Jeez.
But it's good writing because they are real careful not to make Lois annoying or nagging or Clark uncaring. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
hey, we care about each other, but it's like, dang, this is just a crappy situation, and I don't really blame you, but I'm still mad about it.
Yeah, and to a smaller degree, I think we have all been there. I mean, we've all been to this situation where we had to make a choice to disappoint somebody. And unfortunately, the loved ones in your life get either the worst of you or the best of you at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what
totally
happened here. This was a family situation that they just showed.
Yep.
And I thought it was great.
Yeah, they're hitting on, they're knocking home runs every episode in that respect.
Yeah. So he gets another call, and I guess he goes out to, well, it's not Metropolis. Where he goes at first, he goes to the base, and they're trying to find Kilgrave. And Kilgrave. They're trying to find him, and then he gets into it a little bit, and basically says, "This is not my job. Like, I'm not getting, this isn't my job. This is a responsibility. This is me trying to help. I'm not employed by you."
That's the thing. Superman is not an employee.
Yeah.
He's not a government official. And it's like, it goes back to, I just watched Man of Steel getting ready for the Snyder Cut. And, you know, Superman's graciously allowed them to put handcuffs on him. And he's like, you know,
I can break
General, you can't control me, and you never will. But that doesn't mean I don't want to help.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, I'm not an employee. I'll come when I can, but you're not my boss.
Yeah. And I thought that was such great, again, writing to that point that he made. I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, there are superheroes that have been employees.
Yeah.
But Superman's not one of them, nor has he ever been.
So, Kilgrave, again, they find the blip of him, find out where he's at, and we find out that was sort of on purpose. And he actually started talking to Superman about why. He's figuring out everything and telling Superman on what's going on. So we know something's up with you, and we can do what we want. Yeah. And I thought that was awesome too. And then he has some sound machine that basically puts Superman to his knees. And this is a horrible picture that I got, but when you're trying to grab a still of the video of that, good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah. But yeah, it was cool. That, again, this is a non-powered guy. I thought the fight was a little quick, but it's still good.
Then we have. He tried like at once to go at him, like in between getting shot with it.
Yeah.
And then I was surprised he could react that fast to get Superman again.
Yeah. It was good to see another. I always like to see villains that I've never seen before, and I thought they represented him pretty well. I don't know if you've watched Arrow enough but this guy, the actor who played Kilgrave, was also one of the guys in prison with Ollie when he was in prison for a while, and he was a little guy that Ollie took under his wing because he was getting beat up all the time.
What
have you watched?
That?
I can't remember.
Was it towards the
end?
It's
where, it's where they all. I
might remember that.
Oliver's been found out he's Green Arrow, and they arrest him, and then the next season he starts out in prison.
Yep.
Which was pretty cool. And then this guy ends up being the serial killer.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, there's something else going on at the same time as all this. And again, it's tearing Superman and showing his true weakness in this whole thing. So Jonathan and Jordan are messing with the kid that had the vibrating hand, and Jordan is trying to tell. Yeah,
that just sounds wrong.
I did. I don't know how else to say that.
No, there isn't a way to say it.
So Jordan is trying to tell Jonathan, I can handle this. And the reason is the grandpa just had the discussion with them on leave your dad alone.
Oh yeah. So they're like, no, I got this.
Yeah.
We've got to learn to take care of this, which is kind of true. It's like, maybe there are some things they could kind of take care of, but this probably wasn't one of them.
This wasn't the one to start with.
Right, exactly.
And at first, Jordan is able to stop it. He was able to stop the arm.
I was like, all right.
And then you could see the look in the other kid's face at Jordan, like, what are you? This doesn't make any sense.
How are you doing this?
And then all of a sudden it went bad.
Yeah, it went south. I thought he was really hurt. Like, oh, crap.
Yeah. Like, the kid just started, it almost looked like multiple seizures, his whole body's spasming. Mm-hmm. And then Jonathan decides to push the button.
Yeah.
For the signal Superman. And, of course, again, and this is what this episode was about.
Yeah.
Superman was in a situation that he couldn't get out of right away, but his sons are calling for him.
Yeah, it's like, my sons are in trouble. Now what do I do?
Can you explain to me how he's getting hit with a super sound wave, whatever thing, but he can now hear his sons talking? That sort of is a weird analogy for me.
Heck, I don't know. Again, it could just be the show. I'm guessing that it was, attacking his sound, so much, but he can still hear other things. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Or was it? Did he not hear anything until he was able to take care of Kilgrave, and then boom, he heard it?
He was in the middle of getting hit. And he was hearing them talk, saying, Dad, Dad.
Yeah.
And then,
what's interesting about this, though, is that when Superman does his, boom.
That's the next, and it's a horrible thing. I got the hands.
Yeah. It's like, oh, there were some bystanders that got a little, but, They got knocked down.
Now, was it bystanders or was it part of his gang?
No, I swear he said. No, if anyone knows differently, let us know. But I swear he said, "Hey, he's talking to somebody. There's bystanders here. People need to get on the scene." And I go, "I gotta go." But I was like, "Ooh, here he is." Normally, Superman would stay around and make sure everyone's all right, and then leave. But he doesn't have that option.
Does anybody in chat know if there was bystanders? Because I was thinking, I didn't look that close, I guess, but I was thinking it was just part of his gang that helped bust him out.
Yeah, I wondered that too, but I swear I saw it and it just looked like, hey, there were bystanders, and I had to do this clap, and some of them got knocked down because I do know there were people watching that weren't his crew. Like, oh man, Superman's in trouble. What's going on?
Okay, Unfinished Business just said it was bystanders. He said medical needed. Bystanders are here or something along those lines.
Okay. See, so I just wonder if that's not going to start playing into the.
That was
like,
after the clap and he was heading out.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like, hey, that's another complaint. Superman's doing this. He's sloppy. He's getting people hurt, and he takes off.
Yeah, and
like, what's going on?
He uses heat fission though to destroy the weapon.
Yeah.
And then, so then what's going on next is he's heading out to the boys. Doesn't know the situation, what's going on, and this kid is now walking towards Jonathan.
Yeah.
Jordan's already down. Jonathan's about to go down.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I mean, boom. You don't even see him hardly in the video.
That's what I like about it. It's like, that's how it should be. So fast. You don't really. It's that's cool.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
So he flies out, and then he takes this kid all the way up, and he says the altitude will basically calm you down. Now, how he knows that's pretty amazing.
Well, I'm sure he's assuming, hey, you get up here, you're gonna pass out because you don't have enough oxygen, and it should, maybe take care of that. So, hey, Superman.
So who is this kid?
You know what? I don't know. I was gonna try to research it because I don't even know his name. What's his name?
I don't remember his name. They only said it like a couple times.
Yeah, I don't think he's anybody. Maybe he is. I can't even think of anyone with vibrational. There's so many characters who have, vibrating powers.
Right. And I looked into the title of this episode was called Haywire.
Oh, yeah.
So I know it's haywire with everything that was going on, but then I looked into, was there a haywire DC, character?
There is
but
a
it ain't
haywire.
That one.
No, he was actually not even in the DC universe, even though it was published by DC Comics. This was in the 80s. He had like green armor.
I got it up, by the way. I put it in.
Yeah, that's haywire.
That had nothing to do with vibrating.
Oh, no. He wasn't even in the same universe. DC did a lot of these series in the 80s where they were DC Comics, but they were not DC Universe. They were just their own little pocket world.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that comic very well because I have all the issues.
Really?
Yeah.
So it had to be something then about, like you said, we're not going to know. But here's the next thing that's going on. So Lois and Clark and the boys, and help me out again. I don't know.
There's a mental block.
There is
a
right
mental
now.
block. Yeah, Sam Lane.
Sam and Sam are all there talking around the kitchen table. I don't know why tonight. I can't think of Sam Lane.
That's great.
Now, what is going on that they said they're going to take him somewhere? It sounded like almost like an X-Men type of situation.
I thought the very same thing. In the DC universe, there's no school like that.
They said that's what they said there was.
Yeah, I know. There isn't anything. What they do have is Cadmus. And especially with it being Superman, Cadmus is just this huge scientific place in the 80s. It had a huge underground tunnel, underground scientists. It was guarded by the Guardian, who we saw in Supergirl. Even though it was portrayed with Jimmy Olsen, which is not right. It's Jim Harper. But anyway, the Guardian is the superhero. He's the government agent. He works for them. He protects Cadmus, and then there's a alien kind of hybrid creature called Dubalex who has all this mental ability, and he has always helped out Superman. Anyway, a lot of times they assist people who have started to develop meta capabilities. Their meta gene gets activated, which is kind of the same thing as mutants.
Okay.
Basically,
Because
but in
that's
the
what
DC
they
universe,
said.
they call it the metagenes.
They said
Yeah, it's
this
metagene.
reacted to, it wasn't the beam that he did, but he hit something that reacted and then made his mutant gene.
Yeah. So again, they don't ever call people metas or meta. Well, they kind of do, but it's basically how they explain all these superheroes in the DC universe. Like, how is everyone getting powers from these scientific explosions or crazy experiments or accidents? It's like everyone gets powers. They're like, well, people have something called a metagene, and if it gets activated by trauma or some kind of a science experiment, then sometimes they gain powers. So
Okay.
that's what's going on with this kid. And he's probably going to Cadmus. That's my prediction, but maybe not. It is Superman. Cadmus makes the most sense, so we'll see.
Did you notice that Jordan, when they were talking, sort of sat up and almost had an interest in it?
Yeah, yeah. He's like, hey, this might be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But wait a minute, I don't want to be sent there though.
Yeah.
Like, it's better not be like a jail.
Yeah, basically. So I love this next exchange between Sam, Lois, and Clark. And man, Lois let Sam have it.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I have been in this, unfortunately, I have been in this situation.
Yeah.
With either a parent or my wife's parent or something where it is, okay, we've asked you to do something, you're not, and now you're coming at us like, no, it's enough. And man, Lois did it.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you stepped over the line.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're mom and dad.
Yep.
We make the calls for our kids. You don't do that. And the advice you gave, no, not acceptable. Yeah. Trash.
But this also does something for Sam. I mean, he's been thinking about some bad stuff, and it's starting to add up.
Yeah, because General Sam Lane, not a good guy a lot of times in the comics.
So he calls on a line, secure line, and basically tells him to start 7734.
So
explain.
Captain Luthor, he had that dog tag, and so it's triggering something for Sam. He's like, oh man, how does he know about this? So obviously there's something already going, and now he's like getting clues like, hey, you got to stop him, don't let him do this. Now he's seeing Clark do his own thing. He's not under his thumb.
Yeah.
He's doing his own thing. He's not even in Metropolis. This isn't gonna work, so he's getting nudged to either get there's several things that we could have happen here. It could be maybe finally I would love to still see Bizarro Superman in live action. We have yet to see Bizarro. I don't understand it. Like, maybe he's going to create some kind of Bizarro historically that's been Lex Luthor's creation, but could be
Could it be this
here.
Luthor?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're really going to play this Luthor differently, which I'm glad, but we'll have to see. Or it could be this Hell, like Hell-El. That's not really how you say it, but it is. It's the Kryptonian. It looks like Hell. And he was a villain. He didn't really have anything to do with General Lane that I can remember in the book. So this was around New 52 era Superman, Supergirl. So I think it's going to be something. It's going to be one of those things.
And if you flip this upside down.
Yeah, it says Hell.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, maybe they're going to introduce, not the biggest villain they've ever had. I mean, I think it'd make more sense for Bizarro, but we'll see. We'll see.
Then
do we have the scene yet where Lois confronts Morgan?
That's at the very end.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Well,
That was great.
we did have that scene where she confronted him at the mine, but then at the end at the mine is where we're going right now. Do you want to talk about
Okay.
that at the
Yeah, I
confrontation
wish
at the
I would
mine?
have been able to. I wish
I
I would have
got
been
it.
able to watch it again because I thought Lois like kicked ass without actually kicking ass. Not physical ass, but
She
she
did.
honed. She's like, I'm not afraid of you, and I mean, I
Counters to
love the
you.
dialogue. Yeah, I love the dialogue when she leaves. Like, what she call his assistant? She's like, your little
I don't.
vermin over here.
She
I
says something
forgot what.
like, "I don't even know what you are," or something like that.
I
And
don't even know what you're doing. What are you? What's your purpose? I'm gonna leave now unless your vermin over here has anything to say. I thought whatever she said, it was great.
yeah, and the counter sue, and we'll open up all your books and stuff that I know
Yeah,
you don't want to have open. I thought was fantastic.
yeah, yeah. She's like, oh man, this is great, Lois Lane. This is like the Lois Lane kind of stuff.
She was definitely the star of this episode by far.
I agree. I really enjoyed her performance. She's doing really good.
And then this segues perfectly into what's going on next. And this chick, whoever this is, and sorry if you get offended by me saying chick, um, she punched the wall in the mine.
Lady.
Who
Yeah,
is
she
this
did.
girl? Okay, this could be the third person we're introduced to in this just one episode.
Well, it's not going to be Mercy Graves. We've already had a version of her in Smallville. We had a version of her in BVS. She's never been superpowered, but most of the time she is. She's a guard or a bodyguard for Lex Luthor, Mercy Graves. But this is Morgan Edge, so I mean, the fact that we've already seen other superpowered individuals makes me believe Morgan has weaponized kryptonite, is exposing volunteers or non-volunteers to it, and they maybe get powers of they get various Kryptonian powers.
Because he does say
So
something.
yeah,
And
yeah, he's
he was,
wanting to develop an army.
yeah, and why was he so interested in, what's her name at the dinner?
Yeah, he may just like her. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, I'm Morgan Edge. You're pretty. Me likey.
But then with what he said here at the end made me think he's thinking of her for more than just that. Because he was like, you know how I know how to pick people.
She's got some kind of technical skill, something that he wants for his organization. And he probably just likes her too.
Yeah. And then, of course, you see the kryptonite that is in the whole
wall. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I'm glad they advanced that plot along a little bit. So there's a couple things I've observed with this episode. And one is, we didn't see a lot of Superman action in this one.
Except the clap.
That's okay.
The clap was pretty impressive.
Oh, no. What we did see was cool.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's become a little less. And I kind of see where you have to. When you have the quality of effects that you do with Superman in these episodes, you're going to have limited Superman time because they can't afford to do, 2 big action sequences per episode.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And they probably will on some episodes, but a lot of them are going to have to, hey, this is the Superman stuff right here. We can't do a lot of that the rest of the episode.
Yeah.
So I think we've been trained over the last several years with streaming coming on, and we have shorter seasons. Like most of them are 8 to 13 episodes now, or historically all seasons are 22 to 24 episodes. That's a lot of TV.
Yeah, it is.
That's a lot of stuff to pack in and money to try to spend. So, you condense it shorter, throw more money at it, make it more cinematic. And that's what we're really going towards as a...
Because all the arrows were over 20, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So's Flash.
Yeah.
So when you start to get trained with the other way, you're like, hey, I wanted more action. I want more of this. Like, well, this is really how it used to be. So we'll see if they can maintain the quality still.
So my next thing I want to ask, well, one, we are shocked that we thought this was going to be the last episode until 6 weeks. But they showed next week we're going to have a new episode.
Yeah, I read it was 4 weeks. I'm glad that I'm pretty sure 5 will be it. And then, because I did see they've already released stills of the Supergirl season premiere, so
Okay.
I'd say next week will be Superman, and then the next will be Supergirl.
No, I'm not even gonna watch that.
Oh,
We're not
I'll
doing
hate
this.
watch it. No, I'll hate watch it though, like I do
I'll
Batwoman.
hate watch it. I don't even want to waste time on that kind of
I
stuff.
know. It's my OCD. I got to do it. Hey, the last thing I want to say about Superman is this. Um, I really want to know where the writers are going to go with this because it is creating the internal conflict for Superman, which is cool.
Yeah.
But eventually it's like I don't know how they stay in Smallville for the whole series because it does start to get a little handicapped on what you can introduce because there's so many cool um side characters for Superman, but none of those are going to fit in Smallville.
Don't you think it's probably only going to be one season in Smallville where they're getting the kryptonite and there's going to be a battle right there between them and Morgan Edge and it's going to go from there?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it feels like they got to be settled in Smallville for the boys, but yeah, I don't there's no way this can stay in Smallville
Because what's going to happen
because
are the boys, both of them are, in my opinion, don't know, but in my opinion, both of the boys are going to end up getting superpowers.
I agree.
And
I
then I
totally
think
agree.
that's when they leave Smallville and go somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean they're both going to become something. I almost kind of suspect Jonathan's still going to be the Superboy from the comics. Like he is going to end up developing mega powers.
Yeah.
So like Jordan's going to have powers and he got them first, but Jonathan's going to be Superman level power.
Yeah.
And then that's going to create the whole, Jordan's going to get pretty down on himself again, and we'll see how that goes. But like I'm going into those side characters like Cadmus and Dubalex and all these awesome characters. Like my one guy, I don't know if you can even pull him up real quick, but like his name's Gangbuster, freaking awesome. He's one of the first. He's not the first, but he was a prominent Latino superhero. Jose, I think his last name was Delgado. I
Is
think
it the red?
he's had several different costumes. He kind of looks like a policeman. It's brown and orangish, kind of a
I think I got it.
color. This character is really cool. I'm itching for them to introduce Gangbuster. He was really good friends with Lois. Befriended Superman. I mean, he's street level. He gets beat a lot of the time. He's kind of like Daredevil. He's just a
That's what it
human.
says. The one I'm looking up says Superman Clark Kent defended Metropolis as a DC Universe's Daredevil.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
So that's like, hey, I want to see these kind of characters who are prominent in Superman's world introduced on this show. And while I love the show, I'm just thinking long term. It's like, oh, you're really gonna handcuff yourself if you have to stay in Smallville. So, but we'll see
There's
how it
they're
goes.
still gonna have to have it all about the family. It's some
Yeah,
way. But I
yeah,
was thinking it was ridiculous with Sam going. I mean, they're in Kansas. Smallville's supposed to be in Kansas.
yeah,
And Metropolis, I'm guessing, is East Coast, like New York. And how are they going back and forth like it's nothing
yeah.
like
Well,
they
it's
are?
yeah, because they've made Lois look like
She went the
okay.
day
One,
before that one morning.
I'm thinking, okay, well, Metropolis is Kansas City, and then this is a city in Kansas somewhere, or small town in Kansas, because it can't be the New York, which is really kind of what Metropolis is based on.
Yeah.
But then Sam says, well, they got mad at him and he's leaving. Well, I better get going. I've got a long trip ahead of me. Or
Yep.
okay.
Exactly.
So I don't know.
Anything
But
else?
hey, no, I think that, still super awesome. I don't view that as a complaint. The writers have been showing amazing stuff so far. So if they can keep that up, it'll all work out. And
Yeah.
but I'm always a little greedy. I like to see all the other
You
characters
you want to
introduced.
see I have a feeling the first so many seasons you may be disappointed in that because I think the first season's obviously going to build up the characters. It's going to build up Jonathan and Jordan, and then I think from there, 2, 3,
I,
you might see something different.
I think you're right. I mean, and all the other shows have followed that kind of pattern. Like, let's go all the way back to Smallville. It was years before you got Green Arrow and Black Canary, and then they started just like boom, 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 Zatanna, Hawkman, Dr. Fate, boom, boom. And then really, go back to Arrow
Yep.
and Flash, and it was all mostly just them. And then slowly they dropped one more in, and then it became like, all the time. So you're right. I think that's how it'll go too.
Unfinished Business just said off topic, but nice new logo.
Hey, all right. Thank you, sir.
All right, so that is it for Superman and Lois episode 4.
Yep.
Now
good stuff.
It's time to talk about.
It's a biggie. It's a Snyder Cut, everyone. I don't know who's staying up. I think there's going to be people staying up till it debuts, which I think it's 2 a.m. for us, I think.
Did you see the tweet that Zack Snyder sent out with a photo about missing work?
Oh, was that with the excuse note?
Yeah, he wrote up a note saying, to whom it may be concerned, please excuse blank from work, school, or general activities, no matter how big or small. Thursday, May 18th. I think that is so funny.
I think they should use it.
You're gonna write that?
Yeah. Just FYI, I am off work tomorrow for this, so
I'm gonna be off in the afternoon. I'm gonna figure out a way.
I was lucky. I got a lot of time off I can take, so I'm off work.
So questions. I have been very good about. I haven't wanted to hear any spoilers or anything like that.
Yeah, I've heard too many.
But I'm reading like some people saying this was awesome, like so much better than what the old one was. We understand now why Zack Snyder's was the one that should have been used. I mean, this would have helped us so much more. So hats off to that situation. But my question is, when we're doing all this, as much as he is getting pumped up right now about this, in my mind, I always do this. Is he going to be DC's answer from going forward from here?
We won't know. Things are weird at Warner Brothers. Coach, DC fans can't catch a break. It's like whenever we win, the next day we lose. It's kind of like, hey, Dak Prescott, man, we're Cowboys fans. We are looking hot. We are looking red. We weren't this year, but I'm just giving you an analogy. We're hot. We're hot. Dak breaks his ankle, but season-ending injury. We're done. Now, we were never in it to begin with this year, but sometimes it feels like that. Like DC's winning, and Marvel just keeps, they're the Tom Brady, man. They just keep winning.
Yep.
Boom, boom, boom. So here's the deal. First thing, though, is I just pulled up Rotten Tomatoes because I wanted to see the tomato score, which people get fixated on.
I can look at that too.
The Snyder Cut is sitting at 77%, which is amazing. Historically, critics hate Snyder. They do not like his films. Fans love him, but critics do not. Things started to go really south for Zack with Batman v Superman. It had an abysmal 33% rotten score. So it got shredded by the critics. BVS came out right at the same time. Everyone wanted happy, jokey Marvel. It opened up pretty close to Deadpool. People were like, Deadpool was a phenomenon. BVS came out and they're like, what is this dark crap? I mean, we don't like this. And then Justice League came out. It did a little better, like 45%, still rotten, better though. So shredded, these movies were shredded. And I think enough time has went by where the perspective has changed on BVS. Like everyone kind of said, the people that loved it then are like, look, years from now, you're going to look back on this film and recognize that it was pretty damn good. And that's what's happened.
That you say that, I was listening to Kevin Smith's podcast on YouTube, and who's the guy that's always with him?
I don't know, but I see his face.
He said that he was rewatching Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman, and he told Kevin, I'm going to be honest with you, Man of Steel is way better my second time watching it than I remember what I felt in the first time. And he said the same thing
Oh yeah.
about Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, they both get way better. Now I've watched Man of Steel multiple times,
Right.
and even my wife is like, I'm like, what? What do you mean you don't love Man of Steel? Uh, and my brother-in-law, he's a huge Superman fan too. Both of my brother-in-laws really love Superman. I know one of them was like lukewarm on Man of Steel. I mean, we both were Superman Returns, but it, but you watch it now and it's like this is like that's why I'm so high on Henry Cavill as
Yeah.
Superman.
And I thought it
It's
was
just
good. And I thought Batman versus Superman, I enjoyed it. But I'm telling you, if you knew nothing about the situation
yeah,
from a comic book or history, I can understand
right.
why people didn't like it.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. I still think while BVS is aged way, it's gotten way better.
Yeah.
And don't waste your time with the theatrical cut, guys. Don't watch it. You have to watch the 3 hour version. I'm sorry it's 3 hours, but it makes way more sense. There's all kinds of plot holes that all of a sudden come together. Do yourself a favor, watch the extended version. It's the only way to watch that movie. But there are still some elements that's like, I still think the reason that they're fighting is a little weak. I think the hatred that Batman has for Superman's a little unearned. So there's
Yeah.
some elements that still don't quite work. Where, in my opinion, Man of Steel works on every level. It's like this.
I don't
This
know
is
why you
the.
didn't like people don't like Man of Steel. I thought it was good.
I mean, the only quibble I have of Man of Steel is how his dad dies, which to me is the
That was
one
sort of
black.
stupid.
That was the one little spot where I'm like, that doesn't work. The rest of the movie's almost perfection. This is like, no.
Don't save anybody.
I think they were just trying not to keep repeating the whole Jonathan has a heart attack and dies, but I'm like, this was not the way to go. Yeah. But other than that, perfection.
Okay, so I am really excited. I hope we, and I know we're going to, because I've heard enough information that we're going to hear the backstories that we have been wanting to hear.
Yeah.
I really like what we're hearing about how Zack Snyder did. Like, people are talking about him and how he
Right.
directed this, and it's so close to what you hear with Marvel on this situation, on how he's doing. And I hope we
Yeah.
get that. I mean, he's younger. Isn't he younger than Kevin?
Well, yeah. I mean, I apologize. I was rambling a bit. Going back to your original question, whether, DC ends up going with Zack Snyder, I think there was no chance in hell that was happening.
Because you can almost see what they didn't even want to do this.
They did not want to do this.
And
Zack
I feel they've tried
didn't
to
want to do it.
sabotage it.
People would say that is true, and I think there are factions in Warner Brothers that, yes, I think they know those that are still in Warner Brothers that were there for Justice League and made the decision to go with Joss Whedon's cut are gonna look not good, and they know that.
And that in itself is sort of sad. That it's
Yeah.
not that you don't want this to be good. You don't want it to be good because you don't want yourself to look bad.
Oh, these are egomaniacs with multi-million-dollar salaries a year, and it's just like sports, man. When you have a few bombs for big budget movies that don't go your way, you're out.
Yeah.
If you're an executive, you're out. I mean, they don't mess around. I mean, if you have a high-profile bomb, you're gone. That's cutthroat, man.
So I don't know what the question should be that I asked, but I'm going to ask this. What is the one thing, without spoiling it, because I know you've heard some things, what's the one thing that you're most looking forward to?
Well, always Superman. But I'm going to bypass that because that's the obvious answer. But the things I've heard about Superman, woohoo. If I could say the other thing without spoiling it, is this a spoiler? I don't think so. What I've heard from everyone is that you really love how they interact with each other as a team. And you know how we've kind of got that from the Avengers and
Yeah,
how they really bounce off each other, and you're like, man, I love hearing them talk, just talk to each other.
right.
They say they really nail that with this one. You know, it's like, oh man, you see them acting as a team, coming together, growing as a team, and I think that's what I'm looking forward to outside of action and special effects and Superman.
I am looking forward to hearing some backstories done well, to where
Oh
if
yeah,
somebody doesn't know who a cyborg is, or I mean, people know who Flash. Most people know who Flash is just because of the CW show, but they did horrifically bad on the backstories in the original Justice League.
it's like there was no back.
Yeah,
You got a tiny bit with Cyborg, a little bit with his dad, but this is not a spoiler either. But you're gonna get that with Cyborg. It's
yeah,
like
I've heard
you
that.
get a lot of information. I've heard Flash is redeemed.
I'm still
I heard
not.
he's still.
I'm still not. I'm not the actor. I'm not in yet on him.
Oh, I'm not either. So he's gonna have to do some legwork, pun intended,
Yeah.
to earn some likability back. I actually do like the actor. I think the that's there that he could do something good, but what we got in the other cut was horrific. But
Yeah.
I've heard from at least some of the reviewers that say Flash, you like him. I mean, he and some of his special effects scenes they say are mind blowing.
Okay.
So I'm like, well, if they do that, you're gonna exponentially increase the hype for his solo movie, which starts filming next month.
Yep.
So
100%
yeah,
of
I'm
that.
excited about that.
Do you think anything's going to happen that will 100% blow your mind that you have no idea on?
Well, for those individuals that have totally avoided spoilers and have some comic knowledge, there'll be something. Yeah. For me, no.
Because you always look at the spoilers.
I even tried. I still have avoided a lot. But here's the thing about this movie: it's like it's not. It's not an. At the end of the day, I do think we have to temper a little bit because this is not a brand new movie.
Right.
We still kind of know this 90% of how the story goes. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's different but the same. So, the potential there for mind-blowing stuff that we hadn't anticipated is small because some of the other stuff that obviously not a spoiler, we know Darkseid's in it. They've got
Right.
t-shirts, they got toys, we've seen it.
Right.
If you had no idea Darkseid was going to be in it, that would be mind-blowing.
Okay.
But I think we kind of already know all the huge things outside of the one that even we'll just have to see how that one plays out. But
Are you a
I think
little
we're just.
worried about the 4x3?
Oh yeah, yeah. I need to tell Mr. Failer who might be coming over tomorrow to watch. It's like, hey, get ready because instead of the top black box, the top lines, it's going to be this line.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little disconcerting because it's like I love my old 80s shows. I've got all the Knight Rider and the A Team on DVD, and we'll watch those every once in a while. And it's like, it's the old
Hmm.
tube, look. Well, that's how this is going to be.
I did hear from somebody that has experience in movies that said it works though for this.
That's great. Good news. Yeah,
So,
I hope so. I
um,
think I was going to go back to one thing that you said, though. I mean, you're kind of asking where does DC go from here with a Kevin
yeah,
Feige, And I would have said, Zach is done. He's done. The studio's done. They're just doing this to get a little extra revenue from HBO Max, and no one really expected much. Yeah, they were pumping a lot of money into it, but it's more of a fan service, and we'll move on and go to what we've got going on. But the hype is real.
yeah,
And with the success with the critics, I think that's taken everyone by surprise. If this thing performs like they think it might on HBO Max, which is hard to gauge, it's not like box office, we'll see what they do. But if it takes off like it could potentially do, I think there could be a real sea change in what DC ends up doing. I think with the multiverse, it allows them though to, so they can
yeah.
kind of go over here and do this with Pattinson Batman, and then they can, or the new Superman thing they got going on. Meanwhile, they can keep Snyderverse going here.
But in all honesty, if this is what everybody is saying it's going to be, they don't have a choice but to do something big.
You're turning down money. It's like, yeah, we're going to try this experimental stuff that we have that we think is going to work, or we could go down this path that we know is going to work.
Yeah.
Why would you?
I don't get the thought process if you don't. I mean, at all.
Well, I mean, here, let's be realistic too. The climate we're living in, it's all about identity politics. It's all political. It's all pandering to the loudest voices who are complaining or whining about whatever. And no one's saying we shouldn't have representation or loving minority characters. We absolutely should. But they're going to say, oh, we've got to satisfy and represent this group, which potentially is the Val-Zod Superman or Calvin Ellis. Fine. Love the character. Want to see it, actually. But we've got to go this way. For the sake of giving away guaranteed money with a Henry Cavill Superman. Like, forget that. And cutting your nose to spite your face.
Yeah.
So normally I would have always said corporations will not turn down money. Historically, corporations would have said, I'm not listening to all these yahoos on Twitter bitching and moaning about whatever. We're ignoring it. We know what we're doing. Now they cave in all the time for ridiculous reasons.
Can you
I can't predict what the hell they're going to do.
Can you imagine if this just knocks it out of the park? They get Zack Snyder. Cavill would be next because of the relationship those two have.
Yeah.
And then now we are setting up Shazam. We're setting up Black Adam. And we're setting up a big one against Superman and Black Adam.
Oh,
I'd say that going that direction for sure.
Oh, I do too. I'm just like, everyone still loves The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a massive Black Adam movie. You've got a critically beloved Shazam. Everyone likes. I mean, it wasn't as big a moneymaker, but people love it. If you had those three in a movie coming up in the near future, it's printing money.
Yep.
Printing money.
If it's done to the standard that if we see what we're hoping we will.
Oh, right. Man. I mean, we're putting the cart before the horse, a little bit with this, but as far as the Snyder Cut itself, but we know it's going to be better than what we got.
Yeah, and I don't want to get too political with what's going on right now over in Marvel. And I know it's going on somewhat in DC, and I don't have a right way to say this, but like you said, minorities need to have a part. And we need to figure out either make new superheroes or, figure out something to make it happen. And in my opinion, with what's going on or what is about to go on in Marvel, like swinging way over here.
Right.
Why wouldn't DC, when they're struggling as bad as they are right now, decide to be the one to try to play in the balance?
Right.
And then still have good male roles, still have good female roles, and go for it. And I think it's an opportunity that they could do.
Yeah, I mean, right now, we are in the grip of real pandemic, which is of the mind. I mean, we're living in complete madness where nothing makes sense. No one has any common sense at all. Normally people in big positions like this care about money, and they're going to make the best decision that's going to generate the money. They're not doing that right now.
Yeah.
They're forsaking all creative talent, all creative storytelling, all things that best serve their properties and IP for the sake of politics. And it's a sad thing. It's really scary. And I don't know where you go from this, because 5 years ago, I would have said, we're getting all this because of the fans want it. It's popular. It's generating massive amounts of talk, discussion, and money.
Yeah.
But now, who the hell knows?
Yeah. I don't know.
But, not to get negative, Nancy. We're gonna hope for the best, and I think I like what you're saying though. It would be great
I'm
if
not
DC
saying
could say,
ignore. I'm not saying go full old school, the male dominant. I'm saying try to be as equal as you can because you have
right,
the most fantastic female superhero in all of superheroes.
you have Wonder
And
Woman, the
she's
greatest.
the actress is freaking amazing. Build
Yeah,
on that.
I mean, maybe Wonder Woman's not your favorite personal female superhero, but she's the best known female superhero. Period. End of story. No
Yeah.
one, no
There's no
one's
argument.
bigger. There's not an argument. It's just fact. And here's the thing where I want to say this without getting in trouble, but I'm not big on tokenized heroes. I'm not big on, you know, even Supergirl to a point of like, it's just Superman in a girl form. It's like I want individualized characters. I prefer that. And to me, it's like you want a minority character. Okay, so we're gonna go hire someone and we're gonna create Black Superman. Okay, you already have a Black Superman. His name's Icon.
Yeah.
You have some amazing minority characters. By the way, Milestone are created by African American, a group of African Americans. I mean, a great Dwayne McDuffie, amazing guy that passed away way too early. You have those properties already. Develop those characters, promote them,
Yeah.
get talent on them, make
Put him in the
movies out
right
of them.
situation to succeed.
You have these characters already. Don't make a knockoff of Superman.
Yeah.
Make Icon on the level of Superman.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you have those characters, but that way everyone's happy.
Yeah.
So if you want representation, you have this character, he's out here. I'm excited. I want to see Icon. Guess what? For everyone else, they get the classic Superman, where everyone, including African Americans, want to see the classic Superman. I want to see classic Super. Everyone's happy that way. It's common sense.
Yeah.
But they don't want to do that, so I don't know.
We get on tangent on that, and I don't really feel like doing that. But I will say
Nope.
I am pumped.
That's all I got to say.
I am more pumped for the Snyder Cut than I am Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I'm pumped for that.
I know we want to talk about that, or we'll just give a little teaser about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But you're right. I am more excited for Snyder Cut.
I'm so ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm excited. So get your popcorn ready. Get your beverages ready.
Yep. Sounds good to me.
And I'm excited. I have a few non-nerd friends who are like, "Oh my gosh, 4 hours." that was my daughter. She's back from college and she's like, "Dad, 4 hours, really?" Yeah, 4 hours. Gonna feel like a half hour to me.
I heard it does. I heard it's going boom, 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 and you're fine. Like Kevin Smith was. Yeah. This was amazing.
Was he brought to tears? What was he brought to tears about recently? Maybe it was this. I can't remember. But yeah, remember. He was going crazy for it.
He said it was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right. Well, that's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, all we got left is not for tonight, but we'll be covering Falcon and the Winter Soldier sometime soon as well.
Unfinished Business says 4 hours and you took off work. What a nerd.
Try 7 hours Unfinished Business, because we're going to do BVS in the morning and the Justice League in the afternoon. So,
boom.
Mic drop.
All right. So, what do you want to talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier real quick?
Oh, nothing. We can just kind of promote it here. I'm excited for that. Real excited, actually. It's going to be good to hear, or excuse me, see some traditional Marvel action. I can't wait for it.
I'm really excited for it too. The one thing, I'm hearing some things that I didn't know before that I'm getting a little bit of concerned about. That it's going to be very political like in your face political.
I hope that's not true.
And I hope
It's
we
like,
just get the badass fight scenes from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And I did a TikTok trying to explain to some people, where
yeah,
you've seen Baron Zemo. And I also said why people are so mad that like Baron Zemo from the comics is in the original movies that he was in, he didn't even wear a mask. So
yeah,
they're not going to do it on this. I mean, he's going to wear it off and on, but he's not going to wear it all the time.
no. See, that's what yeah. I mean, you know the story now. He's the son of the original Baron Zemo from the 40s, and he gets horribly scarred, and he wears that mask because he's Hamburger.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. But at least they have it, But I am a little worried that it's going to be overtly political, and it's just like, man, now's not the time.
No.
I think
We
everyone's
need
getting burned out.
We need
Yeah.
something good. Like,
I think
just
that's
good feeling.
Yeah, I mean, that's why WandaVision was really great. It was kind of family oriented in a sense, and it was just entertainment.
It
It
didn't
was
get
like,
political at all.
it didn't get political. It's just entertainment. So,
But I'm really looking
I
forward
agree.
to this. And we're going to do some reviews on the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'd like to do them just like we did with WandaVision.
Oh yeah, I definitely want to do that. Yeah, we got to keep the ball rolling because then it'll roll into Loki.
I'm looking forward to that one too.
Black Widow, and then it rolls into What If, and then it rolls into Hawkeye.
I'm still not like gung-ho on What If, honestly.
No, it's my least anticipated. For one, it's animated, which I'm kind of meh, But other things we'll want to talk about, we'll include that Jupiter's Legacy on Netflix. That's going to be phenomenal, I hope, if it's anything like the book. And then Invincible, while that is also a cartoon, you better read Invincible, sir.
Hey, I got First Man coming in the mail, by the way. I did get it.
Oh, you did? Good,
Yep.
good. So, but yeah, Invincible looks incredible. It starts next Friday, the 23rd. So, brutal.
So
Bloody.
how are we going to fit all this in? We can talk about that off.
Yeah, we'll fit it in
That'd
somehow.
be crazy.
We'll condense.
Yeah.
We'll condense.
Okay, that sounds good.
So, yeah.
All right.
I think, yeah.
I think we'll be live on TikTok maybe some tomorrow for...
Yeah. I think we're going to go live for a few minutes here and there.
Just sort of give updates maybe.
Yeah, give some updates, what we're thinking, what we're seeing. It's broken into 6 chapters. It's all 4 hours, but there's chapter breaks.
Yeah.
So we might go over the chapters and see what we think.
Sounds good. All right, guys, sir. We are off.